Don't worry, sis. I got you. Put on these eye contacts. It will make you more beautiful on your wedding day.
Thank you, sis. Now I see you care about me.
I always do, just that you were scared I was feltish and was gonna harm you.
They are beautiful. Trust you more now.
Baby, I can't see. My stepsister gave me eye contact, but now I can't see nothing on my wedding day.
What do you mean you can't see? Can't you see what I am wearing?
Not at all. Nothing. I can see nothing.
How did all these happen that you went blind on your wedding day? The day that was supposed to be your happiest day.
Honestly, I don't know. She said she wanted to make my wedding day special for me. She fixed an eye contact in my eyes.
Imagine looking into the eyes of the man you love, saying, I do, and then poof, the world goes black. Now imagine finding out your own blood paid a witch to make it happen. All because she wanted your husband. This is not a movie. This is my life. My name is Amara Ngozi Okonkwo. I was born on a rainy Tuesday in Enugu, and my mother always said that the rain on the day I arrived meant I would be a blessing that waters dry ground. She died 4 weeks after my 6th birthday. Meningitis, the doctors said. But I knew even then that it was a broken heart that killed her. She had married a man who loved his money more than he loved her. And when she stopped being beautiful in his eyes, he started looking elsewhere. My father, Chief Emmanuel Okonkwo, was a transporter. He owned 40 luxury buses and a fleet of trucks. By Nigerian standards, we were rich. We had a 6-bedroom mansion in Independence Layout, Enugu. We had maids, drivers, gardeners. I had a pink bicycle with streamers on the handlebars. But I had no mother. 6 months after her burial, my father came home with a woman named Joy. Joy was not joyful. She was a widow from Asaba with a daughter exactly my age. The daughter's name was Chioma. Chioma was beautiful in a way that made other girls uncomfortable. She had high cheekbones, skin the color of polished mahogany, and eyes that slanted like a cat's. But her heart was a graveyard. From the very first week, Chioma made her mission clear. She walked into my room, looked at my dolls, my books, my mother's picture on the knitstand, and said, "All of this will be mine. You are just a shadow now." I was 6. I did not understand what a shadow meant. But I learned. The years of small cruelties when we were 7. Chioma poured boiling water on my pet rabbit. It died screaming. She told my father I had left the cage open and a stray dog attacked it. He believed her. When we were 10, she cut my hair while I slept. I woke up with jagged patches on my scalp. She laughed and said, "Now you look as ugly as your mother." I cried for 3 days. My father bought Chioma a new dress as a reward for being honest about what happened. When we were 13, I won first place in the school spelling bee. Chioma came second. That night, she locked me in the storage shed behind the house. It was dark, filled with rats, and I screamed for 6 hours before a neighbor heard me. When my father asked Chioma what happened, she said, "Amara is always losing things. She probably locked herself in." He scolded me for being careless. That was my childhood, a slow, steady erosion. My stepmother Joy never hit me. She did not need to. She simply turned my father's heart to stone where I was concerned. Every compliment I received, Chioma received too. Every gift, Chioma took first pick. Every meal, Chioma ate the best pieces of meat while I ate the bones. I survived by remembering my mother's face. And by reading. I read everything: the Bible, newspapers, romance novels, encyclopedias. Reading was my escape. In books, the wicked stepsisters always lost. In books, the blind girl always saw again. In books, love conquered hate. I did not know that real life was far more brutal. Meeting Chuka. I met Chuka Ezenwa at my cousin Adana's wedding in Owerri. I was 22, fresh out of UNN with a degree in mass communication. I was working as a junior reporter for a small Enugu newspaper. writing stories about potholes and local government corruption. I was nobody. The wedding was held at the Rockview Hotel. I was hiding in a corner near the buffet table, holding a plate of chin-chin and jollof rice, watching the dancers. I hated weddings. They reminded me of what I did not have: a mother to tie my gel, a father proud of me, a love that felt safe. Then a voice said, "If you hide any further, you will disappear into the wall. And then who will I dance with?" I looked up. He was tall, 6'2" at least. Broad shoulders, a clean shave, and a smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. He was wearing a cream agbada with brown embroidery. He looked like a king who had forgotten he was royal. "I don't dance," I said. "Everyone dances," he replied. "Some with their feet, some with their eyes. You, right now, are dancing with your eyes." "I see it." I laughed. I could not help it. He sat down beside me, took a piece of chin-chin from my plate without asking, and introduced himself. "Chuka Ezenwa, civil engineer. I build bridges." "And you?" "Amara Okonkwo. I write stories no one reads. I will read them," he said. And he meant it. We talked for 3 hours. He told me about his father, a chief in Owerri, who had wanted him to study law. He told me about the bridge he was building in Onitsha, the one that would connect 2 villages that had been separated for 50 years. He told me about his first love, a girl who died of sickle cell when they were both 19. He said, "I thought I would never love again. Then I saw you holding a plate of chin-chin like it was the only thing keeping you alive." I told him about my mother, about Chioma, about the storage shed, about the rabbit. He listened without interrupting, without pity in his eyes. When I finished, he said, "You are still here. That means you are stronger than all of them." That night, he walked me to my car. He did not try to kiss me. He held my hand and said, "Amara, I am going to marry you. Not because you are beautiful, though you are. Not because you are kind, though you are. But because you survived. And I want to survive with you." I thought he was joking. He was not. Chioma's obsession. Chuka courted me for 18 months. He sent me flowers every week. He drove from Owerri to Enugu every weekend, a 3-hour journey each way, just to have lunch with me. He met my father, who was unimpressed. He met my stepmother, who was cold. And he met Chioma. Chioma had returned from Lagos by then. She had a degree in theatre arts and a desperation to be famous. She had tried acting, modeling, even a reality TV show. Nothing worked. She came back to Enugu bitter, angry, and still living in my father's house. The first time Chuka visited our home, Chioma wore a dress so short it barely covered her thighs. She came downstairs with her hair done, her makeup perfect, and she purred, "So this is the famous engineer. Chuka, I have heard so much about you, but no one told me you were this fine." Chuka shook her hand politely. "Your sister speaks highly of you." Chioma laughed. "My sister? Amara? She speaks highly of everyone. That is her problem. She does not know when someone is pretending to love her." I saw Chuka's face change. Just for a second. A flicker of disgust. Then he smiled and said, "Then it is lucky that I am not pretending." Chioma's eyes narrowed. From that moment she declared war. She started small. She would call Chuka's phone from unknown numbers and breathe into the receiver. She would send him anonymous text messages saying I was cheating on him with my editor at the newspaper. She would tell our father that Chuka was a ritualist, that his bridges were collapsing, that he had a secret wife in Port Harcourt. Chuka showed me every message, every call log. He said, "Your sister is dangerous, Amara, but she cannot hurt us unless we let her." I should have listened. I should have cut her off completely. But blood is a strange thing. Even when it is poison, you keep hoping it will turn clean. The engagement. Chuka proposed on a bridge, Not a famous bridge. A small pedestrian bridge he had built in a rural village called Umudim. He took me there at sunset, held my hands, and said, "I built this bridge so that children could cross the river to get to school. But you, Amara, are the bridge I want to cross for the rest of my life." He knelt. He opened a small blue box. Inside was a diamond ring, not huge, not flashy, but pure. Like his heart. I said yes. When we told my father, he grunted. "Her mother's family will want a big bride price. Are you ready for that, young man?" Chuka said, "I will pay whatever they ask." Amara is priceless. Chioma was not there. She had locked herself in her room. I heard screaming through the door. I knocked. She opened it, her face wet with tears, and said, "You think you have won, but wait until your wedding day. I have a special gift for you." I thought she was just bitter. I did not know she meant literal darkness. The traditional wedding, the engagement ceremony, was held at my father's compound on December 13th. It was a beautiful day. The sun was high, the palm wine was flowing, and Chuka's family came in full force. His mother, Mama Ezenwa, was a small woman with a loud voice and a heart of gold. She hugged me and whispered, "My daughter, you have brought joy to our house." Chioma stayed in the background. She wore black. She did not dance. She watched me with the intensity of a snake watching a mouse. That night, after all the guests had left, Chioma came to my room. She was holding a small leather pouch. "Tomorrow," she said, "you will look like a queen. But remember, queens can fall." I was too tired to argue. I told her to leave. She smiled and left. The morning of the white wedding, December 14th. I woke up at 4 a.m. My heart was racing. My best friends, Adaze and Ify, were already in my room with champagne and breakfast. The makeup artist, Stella, arrived at 5 a.m. My dress ivory lace, off-shoulder, with a train that flowed for 6 feet hung on the closet door like a dream. At 6 a.m., Chioma walked in. She was wearing a pink lace gown, her hair in a perfect bun, and she was holding the leather pouch. "I will do her eyes," Chioma told Stella. Stella hesitated. "Ma'am, I am the professional." Chioma waved her hand. "This is a sister thing. Last touch. Just the eyes." I was stupidly happy. I said, "Okay, Chi. Just the eyes." She opened the pouch. Inside was a small glass vial filled with a liquid that looked like saline solution, and a pair of contact lenses. They were the most beautiful lenses I had ever seen, honey-colored with a golden ring around the iris. They seemed to pulse with a light of their own. "These are from Italy," Chioma whispered, her breath warm on my face. "They will make your eyes shine brighter than any bride in history. Your husband will not be able to look away." She dipped the lenses into the liquid. She held my chin. Her fingers were ice cold. "Open wide, Amara." I opened my eyes. She slid the first lens onto my right eye. It stung sharp, like a needle, then settled. Cold. Too cold. She did the left eye. I blinked. For a moment, the world was hyper-real. I could see individual dust motes floating in the sunbeam. I could see the tiny crack in the ceiling paint. I could see the pores on Chioma's face. Then everything normalized. "Perfect," she said. And she smiled. A real smile. The first real smile I had seen from her in years. An hour later, I was in the white Mercedes, driving to the Cathedral of Good Shepherd. The convoy was 40 cars long. People lined the streets, waving. I saw the church spires rising against the blue sky. I saw children running. I saw the old women selling pure water and groundnuts. Chuka texted me, "Today you become my forever. I can't wait to see your eyes look into mine." I typed back, "I will never look away." The walk down the aisle. The organ began to play. The massive wooden doors of the cathedral swung open. Sunlight flooded in like liquid gold. I saw the aisle-white runner, rose petals scattered by flower girls, hundreds of faces turning toward me. I saw Chuka at the altar. He was crying. A tall, strong, bridge-building man weeping openly because of me. My heart grew wings. I took the first step. My father's arm was steady under mine. Second step. The sun was warm on my face. Third step. The edges of my vision began to dim. Like someone was slowly turning down the brightness on a television. The faces of the guests blurred into watercolors. The white runner turned grey. I stopped. "Amara?" my father whispered. "What is wrong?" "I can't see, Daddy." He laughed. He thought I was joking. "Walk, my daughter. The whole world is watching." I took another step. The world went from grey to black. Not a fade. A slam. Like someone had slammed a heavy door on the sun. Total darkness. I screamed. The bouquet fell from my hands. The organ stopped. The priest, Father Anselm, looked up from his book. The guests gasped. A child cried. My mother-in-law shouted, "What is happening?" Then I heard Chioma. From somewhere in the front row, she let out a theatrical wail. "Oh my God, the bride has gone blind. Someone help her. Jesus, she cannot see." The collapse. Chaos. Absolute chaos. People rushed toward me. I felt hands grabbing my arms, my shoulders, my dress. Someone pulled the veil from my face. Someone else pushed a chair under me. I sat down, trembling, tears streaming down my cheeks. "I can't see," I sobbed. "I can't see anything. It's all black." Dr. Obi, a general practitioner from the congregation, came forward. He shone a penlight into my eyes. I felt the warmth of the beam but saw nothing. He checked my pulse, my blood pressure. He lifted my eyelids and peered closely. When he spoke, his voice was grave. "Pupils are fixed and dilated. No response to light. This is sudden onset bilateral blindness. She needs a neurologist immediately. Get her to the hospital." Chuka had left the altar. I felt his arms around me, strong, warm, smelling of his cologne, a mix of sandalwood and citrus. He held me against his chest. "Amara, it's me. It's Chuka. I'm here. Chuka, I can't see you. I can't see your face. I can't see the ring. I can't see our future." He kissed my forehead. "Then we will build a future in the dark. Together." Someone in the crowd, I am almost certain it was Chioma, muttered loud enough for everyone to hear. "A blind wife. For a chief's son. Chuka, my friend, God has saved you. Run. Abort mission." I expected silence. I expected Chuka to hesitate. Instead, he stood up, and his voice rolled through that cathedral like thunder. "Listen to me, all of you. Every single one of you. I did not fall in love with Amara's eyes. I fell in love with her heart, her kindness, her resilience, her faith. If she never sees again, she will still be my wife. She will still be the mother of my children. She will still be the woman I choose every single day." The wedding continues. Today. The priest cleared his throat. "But my son, she cannot recite the vows if she cannot see the book." "Then I will recite them for her," Chuka said. "And she will say 'I do' with her voice. That is all I need. That is all I have ever needed." Chioma screamed. An actual scream. "This is madness. You are a chief's son. Your father is watching. Have you lost your mind, Chuka?" Chuka turned toward her voice. I could not see his face, but I heard the ice in his words. "Chioma, you have said enough. If I hear one more word from you, you will be escorted out by security. Do you understand me?" Silence. Then the sound of Chioma's heels clicking as she stormed out of the cathedral. Father Anselm cleared his throat again. Then let us continue. Chuka, guide your bride's hand. The vows were said. I said I do while seeing nothing. Chuka guided my trembling fingers to the ring, and I pushed it onto his hand. He kissed me, a long, gentle, tear-salted kiss, and then he lifted me, blind and terrified, into his arms and carried me down the aisle as if I were made of glass. The reception was held in the dark. For me, anyway. I sat at the high table, holding Chuka's hand, listening to the music, the laughter, the clinking of glasses. My stepmother Joy came to me at the reception. Her voice was sweet, dripping with false sympathy. Ah, poor thing. Maybe it was the stress of the wedding. Maybe if Chuka had married Chioma, this would not have happened. She has stronger eyes, you know. I said nothing, but a cold hand gripped my heart. Why would she say that? That night, in our hotel suite, Chuka helped me undress. He bathed me with a sponge, washing away the makeup and the tears. He fed me swallows and egusi soup, spoon by spoon. And when I broke down sobbing, he held me and said, Amara, I will find the best doctors in Nigeria, in Ghana, in London, in America. If they say you will never see again, then I will be your eyes. We will have children. They will describe my face to you. And you will know that I am smiling only because of you. I believed him. I had no choice. Faith was all I had left. The year of darkness, the next 12 months were the longest of my life. Blindness is not just the absence of sight. It is the absence of autonomy. I could not cook without burning myself. I could not walk without falling. I knocked over cups. I bumped into walls. I once walked into the bathroom naked while a visitor was in the sitting room. The shame was a physical weight. But Chuka never complained. He came home from work every evening and described his day to me in vivid detail. Today I watched the sun set over the bridge. The sky was orange, then purple, then dark blue. The water reflected the lights from the village. I wished you could see it. He took me to the best hospitals. In Enugu, the neurologist said, it is like something ate her optic nerves from the inside. No trauma. No infection. I have never seen this. In Lagos, a specialist said, acute bilateral optic nerve necrosis. Possibly autoimmune. But the tests are negative. In London, at Moorfields Eye Hospital, a professor with a grey beard said, there is a chemical residue in her tear ducts, an alkaloid found in certain West African plants. This is not natural blindness. This was induced. I told Chuka then. Chioma did this. The lenses. The liquid. I know it. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, we cannot go to the police without proof. And your father will never believe you. But I believe you, Amara, and I will protect you from her. We changed our phone numbers. We moved to a new house in a gated estate in Owerri, closer to Chuka's work. We told no one the address except Chuka's mother. Chioma found us anyway. 3 months after the wedding, she appeared at our gate with a fruit basket. She was alone. Chuka let her in because he wanted to confront her. I sat on the couch, blind, listening. How are you, sister? She asked, sitting beside me. I could smell her perfume, a cloying, sweet scent like rotting flowers. I am blind, Chioma. How do you think I am? Ah, but you have a husband who loves you. Even though he could have had me. She laughed. You know, Amara, I could have fixed you. If you had asked nicely. My heart stopped. What do you mean? She leaned close. Her lips brushed my ear. There is a shrine in Delta. Ogwashi Ukwu. The priest who gave me the lenses. He can also reverse it. For a price. I froze. You did this to me. You admitted it. She pulled back. I heard her stand. I admitted nothing. You are imagining things. Maybe the blindness is affecting your brain now. Poor blind Amara. She left. I sat in the dark, shaking with rage. That night, I told Chuka everything. He held me and said, "If she did this, God will judge her. But we cannot take justice into our own hands. We must wait." Waiting was agony. The dream of my grandmother. 3 months later, when I was at my lowest, I had a dream. In the dream, I was a child again, sitting on my mother's lap. But my mother was not alone. Beside her stood an old woman I had never met, a small woman with a wrinkled face and bright white eyes. She was blind too. "Amara," the old woman said, "I am your grandmother. Your father's mother. I died before you were born. Why are you blind?" I asked. She smiled. "I was not blind in life, but in death I see everything, and I see your sister. The lens she put in your eye is not a curse. It is a contract written in blood. As long as Chioma lives and renews the ritual once every year, you will remain blind. But if she dies, the contract breaks, and you will see again." I woke up gasping. I told Chuka about the dream. He was not a superstitious man, but he was Igbo. He knew that the ancestors spoke. He said, "Then we pray that Chioma does not renew the ritual." And we wait. The pregnancy. 6 months into the darkness, I started vomiting every morning. Chuka took me to Dr. Obi, who ran a test and came back laughing. "Congratulations, Amara. You are not sick. You are pregnant," I cried. I cried because I could not see my own belly growing. I cried because I could not see the ultrasound screen. I cried because what kind of mother cannot look into her newborn child's eyes? But Chuka celebrated. He came home with armloads of baby clothes, blue, yellow, green, and held them to my face so I could feel the fabric. "We will name her Ifini if it is a girl," he said. "That means nothing is impossible with God. And we will name him Chukudi if it is a boy. There is God." I touched my flat belly and whispered, "Ifini, please let me see you." The pregnancy progressed. I felt the baby kick at 4 months. I felt her turn at 7 months. I learned to navigate the house entirely by memory. 14 steps from the bedroom to the kitchen, 3 steps down into the living room. The couch on the left, the window on the right, the door to the garden straight ahead. Chuka hired a live-in helper, a young girl from Imo State named Ebba. Ebba was 17, spoke softly, and had a gift for description. "The sky is the color of a blue agbada today, Ma. The mango tree in the backyard has 10 fruits now. Ma, I will pick one for you. Your husband is standing at the door, Ma. He is smiling." He is always smiling. By the 8th month I was huge. My back ached constantly. My feet swelled to twice their size. But my heart was strangely full. I had accepted my blindness. I had accepted that I might never see my daughter's face. I had accepted that Chioma had, in some terrible way, won. But I had forgotten my grandmother's words. "If she dies, you will see again." The death of Chioma, it happened on a Thursday. I was 38 weeks pregnant. Chuka had gone to a site inspection in Upper. Ebba was at the market buying yams. I was alone in the house, listening to an audio Bible in the living room. Psalm 27. "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" The phone rang. It was my father. His voice was strange, cracked, raw, like he had been screaming for hours. "Amara, Chioma is dead." The audio Bible kept playing. "Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear." What? How? She was driving to Delta, to some village called Ogwashiyaku. She said she was going to visit a friend, a native doctor, we now know. Her car ran off the road into a river. They found her body this morning. Amara, her eyes were gone, burnt out of her head. like someone had put hot coals in them and twisted. I hung up the phone. I sat in the dark. And then I blinked. I saw the ceiling. Just for a second. A flash. White paint. A ceiling fan spinning lazily. Then darkness again. I blinked again. The ceiling returned. Then the walls pale yellow. Then the window curtains fluttering. Then the sunlight bright, golden, blinding. Slowly, like a sunrise after 1,000 years of night, my vision returned. I looked at my hands' swollen fingers, my wedding ring catching the light. I looked at the couch blue fabric, yellow pillows, a crochet blanket. I looked at the window, a mango tree, green leaves heavy with fruit, a yellow bird on a branch. I screamed, not in fear, in joy. I screamed and laughed and wept all at once. I stood up, my huge belly making me wobble, and I ran to the hallway mirror. For the first time in 15 months, I looked at my own face. I was thinner. My cheekbones were sharper, my collarbones prominent. My hair had grown long and unruly, falling past my shoulders. Dark circles under my eyes. But my eyes, my mother's eyes, were bright, clear, coffee brown, and filled with tears. I heard the front door open. Ebba came in with a basket of yams. She saw me standing at the mirror, staring at her, and she dropped the basket. "Ma," she whispered. "Ma, you can see?" "I can see, Ebba. I can see. I can see your face." She ran to me, crying, and we held each other. Then I remembered Chioma's words. There is a shrine in Delta. The priest who gave me the lenses. He can also reverse it. For a price, she had been driving to renew the ritual, to keep me blind forever. And on that road, the darkness she had tried to give me had consumed her instead. My grandmother's dream had been true. When Chuka came home that evening, I was waiting for him at the door. He walked in, tired, dusty, carrying his white hard hat. He looked up and froze. I saw his face for the first time in over a year. He was more beautiful than I remembered. His jaw was stronger, more defined. He had a small scar on his left cheek he had not had before a work accident. He had told me, but I had not seen it until now. His eyes were red, swollen. He had been crying over me. "Amara, your eyes." "I see you, Chuka." I walked toward him, my enormous belly leading the way. "I see my husband." He fell to his knees. He wept like a child. He wrapped his arms around my hips and pressed his face to my stomach and sobbed. "God is real. God is real. God is real." We stayed like that for a long time. The investigation the next day, we went to the police. I told them everything, the lenses, the liquid, Chioma's confession, the shrine in Agwashi-Ukwu. The police commissioner was skeptical until they exhumed Chioma's body. The autopsy report was chilling. Her eyes had not been burnt by fire. They had been destroyed by a chemical reaction, a concentrated alkaloid found in the sap of a rare West African tree, the same chemical residue found in my tear ducts. The pathologist wrote, "Bilateral ocular combustion consistent with ritual retributive phenomenon." They traced Chioma's phone records to a number in Agwashi-Ukwu. A native doctor named Chief Onwakara. When the police raided his shrine, they found vials of the same liquid, contact lenses in glass jars, and a ledger of clients. Chief Onwakara confessed. He sat in the interrogation room, an old man with grey dreadlocks and a missing front tooth. And he told the police everything. "That girl, Chioma, came to me 2 years ago. She wanted to destroy her sister's eyes on her wedding day. She paid me 50,000 naira and a live chicken. I gave her the lenses infused with the curse. But I warned her the curse is tied to her own life force. Every year, she must return to renew it with a fresh sacrifice. If she tries to renew it without paying the full price of human life, The curse will reverse and kill her. Did she ever pay with a human life? The inspector asked. Chief Onwakara shook his head. She was wicked, but she was not a murderer. She tried to cheat the spirits. She thought she could renew the curse with a goat. When she came last week, I refused. She was angry. She drove away. The spirits followed her. Chioma died at the wheel. Her eyes burst into flames. She crashed into the river. My stepmother, Joy, was arrested as an accomplice. The police found text messages between her and Chioma discussing the ritual. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison for conspiracy to cause grievous bodily harm. My father did not visit her once. The birth of Ifini 10 days after my sight returned. I went into labor. At 2 a.m., my water broke. Chuka drove me to the hospital at double the speed limit, running red lights, praying in Igbo and English and what sounded like Greek. Oni kere Yua. Save my wife. Save my child. I gave birth at 7:23 a.m. A girl. A perfect, screaming, beautiful girl with Chuka's nose and my eyes. When the nurse placed her in my arms, I looked down for the first time. I looked down and saw her tiny fingers, her wrinkled forehead, her mouth open in a furious cry. Her eyes squeezed shut against the bright world. And I said, Ifini, nothing is impossible with God. Chuka kissed my forehead, my cheeks, my lips, the baby's head. I told you, he whispered. I fell in love with your heart. The eyes were just a bonus. Life after darkness, Ifini is 3 years old now. She has her father's stubborn chin and my curiosity. Every night, before she sleeps, I look into her eyes and I thank God that I can see. My father comes to visit every month. He is not the man he once was. Grief and guilt have softened him. He held Ifini on his lap last Christmas and said, Amara, I failed you. I chose the wrong daughter. I am sorry. I forgave him. Not because he deserved it. Because I want Ifini to know what grace looks like. Bitterness is a heavier burden than blindness ever was. Chioma is buried in an unmarked grave in a cemetery outside Enugu. Her name is never spoken in our family. Sometimes, at night, I think of her. Not with anger anymore. With pity. She had everything: beauty, charm, opportunity, a father who adored her, and she traded it all for a curse because she could not stand to see me happy. As for me and Chuka, we are building bridges, literal bridges for him. And for me, a different kind of bridge. I started a foundation for visually impaired women in the Southeast. We teach them to cook, to sew, to run small businesses, to live without sight. I remember the darkness, and I know that even in the darkness, love is a light that never goes out. I also started a YouTube channel. That is where you are watching me now. My name is Amara, and I see. Final warning to the wicked. If you are watching this and you have ever thought about hurting someone because you envy what they have, stop. Stop before you destroy yourself. The same pit you dig for your brother, you may fall into. The same blindness you wish on your sister, you may receive. And if you are watching this, and you are in the middle of your own darkness, if you feel like you will never see the sun again, hold on. Hold on to the people who love you. Hold on to the God who sees what you cannot. Hold on. Because sunrise is coming. Don't let anyone steal your light. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it.